So after my last video, I decided it would be a good idea if I were to take the back off the Polyot deck watch and have a look at what actually makes it work. And this is the back of the movement, the mechanism. And you can immediately see that it's gold plated, and it has Geneva striping, which is the pattern you can see, which is just sort of rubbed onto the metal with a press. Some of the main components: the wheel you can see moving back and forth as the watch runs is the balance wheel, and this is what regulates the rate of the watch. It is a what in a wall clock might be a pendulum. This is a balance wheel that has a spring inside, and it rotates at the beat of the watch. Now the beat of the watch is, I think, 5 beats a second, which is, I think, 300 beats a minute. The device you can see here is the swan neck regulator, which allows the weight rate of the watch to be adjusted by turning the screw here against the pressure of the spring, which is why it's called a swan's neck. The spring looks like a swan's neck. And there's a plus here and a minus here, although I believe it's not quite so simple as turning this to make the watch go faster or slower. I think there's possibly some other adjustments that need making. You can also see that there are these red jewels here. These are actual synthetic jewels, and these are rubies. The watch has a total of 22 jewels. This says 22 jewels in Russian. And these are used because they have much lower friction properties than metal, and they have a longer service life because they wear down. They're much harder than metal bearings. And also the you can just see behind the balance wheel the wheel and the lever of the escapement, and the paddles of the escapement are what touch the wheel of the escapement are also made of synthetic rubies, because they are under a great deal of wear, because 5 times a second they are touching and pushing around the small wheel. The escapement is what makes the hands of the watch turn around at a constant rate. The wheel spins under the spring pressure. You can't actually see the spring in this watch. It's behind this metal plate, and the escapement lever in connection with the balance wheel regulates the movement of the main wheel, which turns the gear drives, which turns eventually the hands of the watch. The gears you can see here are part of the keyless work, which is what winds up the mainspring, which is behind this plate here, when you turn the crown of the watch. Here I have a interesting project, and if you have something, an antique or other old item, often they don't come with the original documentation, such as instruction manuals. But nowadays they are often available on the internet, and this is the case for the Polyot deck watch. I was able to locate a website that had a scan of the instruction manual for the Polyot deck watch. Now, I don't believe the instruction manual is still under copyright. There's certainly no copyright information on it, but the scan is the property of the chap who took the scan, and so I can't show you the image. I can show you a link to the website, which I will do. Of course, because this is a Russian watch, the instructions are in Russian. They're in Cyrillic text, and so it was necessary to translate that into English and also into the Roman alphabet. Nowadays, with computer translation, this is relatively simple, and I was able to do so using a website and Google Translate and some other online translators, which I will demonstrate to you. Okay, so this is the method I use to translate the Russian manual for the deck watch into English. The small Russian alphabet beneath the screen is clicked, according to the printed letters on the image, and this is quite slow, but the manual only consists of short pieces, so it isn't too difficult. When you've finished entering in the phrase, you can select which translation service you would like to use. If it's difficult, you can select several. This goes straight to Google, and you get the translation. Having done that, it was a simple matter to make a Word document and then PDF of the instructions. As you can see, there's some introductions to the watch and how it works, the basic specifications, which are here and are quite interesting to read, including the specified accuracy of 9 seconds plus or minus per day in a 40-hour reserve. There's information about how to use the clock and how to synchronize it with time signals, and also what is included in the original packaging, and some important information about packaging and transporting it, and the original warranty, which obviously is well expired. So this is how you create a booklet by printing it from Adobe PDF. You go to print and select booklet. Now if you have a printer that can print both sides, you select both sides, but if you have an ordinary printer, you select to print either the front or the back of each page, and in between you swap the paper over. And this is that's simply how you do it. Now another question is how to make a useful booklet, because a simple printed off PDF, you may be happy with a PDF on the computer, but it's nice to have a printed off document. How do you make such a booklet? Well, there was a YouTube video which helped me out, which demonstrated the method of simply using a loose staple from a stapler and a pin to make holes in the paper once it was folded. And this is A4 paper folded over to A5 size, and it was another simple matter to cut the pages themselves to slightly smaller size, so that once they were within the card there would be a gap which would help protect it.